Oh, no one loves harder than me. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So, that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with the next movie in our monthly movie week for this month. All of that jazz. Today we have Love Hard. This is a donation reward for Isabella, so thank you, Isabella, for donating. And I don't know what to expect from this. Love Hard doesn't really tell me anything other than I guess it's probably going to be a love story. It's probably going to be a romance to some degree. Love Hard? It's just like, it's a title that makes me think of, if I'm being honest, it makes me think of sex. It's like, what other context would that be relevant for? Unless you're just saying that, like, you're, like, such a lover in terms of, like, just love in general that, like, you go into that, like, at full force or full, like, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. It's one of those titles that is just like, it almost feels like a porn parody of Die Hard or something. Which I'm very sure probably exists, by the way. But I don't know what to expect from it, and I really feel like it's probably not that. So I'm going into this as blind as possible. I don't know anything about this movie. I don't know who's in it. I don't know when it came out. I don't know anything. But yeah, this is our next movie for the movie week. So for those of you who are watching on Friday, for the Friday movie, just as a reminder, I will announce what the next month's movie week theme will be. This month doesn't really have a theme. We're not really doing that for this month's movie week. But next month we will be bringing back the themes from that we were doing for the monthly movie weeks last year. We'll be bringing those back starting for next month. So you'll just have to wait and see what that entails. For now, though, let's get into this and see what we have in store. But before we do, real quick, one last thing. I do want to remind you that we do have a Patreon now. I know I'm shilling it a lot, but it's still new. We're still at the start of the year, and I want to make sure everybody knows. So we started having a Patreon at the beginning of the year, and link is in the description below, by the way. Every tier pretty much gets you some level of early access. The $5 tier gets you early access to movie reactions, $10 tier is movies and shows, and so on and so forth, with each tier adding in another type of reaction you get early access to. And so with all of that, I blanked, I'm sorry. But there's other rewards as well. Depending on your tier, you can be able to vote on exclusive polls in the future. You can have me, or you could choose to have me react to certain things of your choice in the future, and so on and so forth. Everything is listed on the Patreon page itself, so please check that. Once again, link down below to get all the info on every tier. This is completely optional, though. You don't have to do it if you can't or just don't want to. I know how the economy can be. It does help out. This is something that I do full time, so any amount of money will help out with the channel and just in general, if you are able to do it. That all being said, though, I do thank you all so much for tuning in, and let's get to today's reaction. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, this is a Netflix film, and I was looking briefly up, and I couldn't find, like, too much. I wasn't gonna, like go too in-depth with it, trying to find out what people thought of this. But I did see that it had 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. As always, take it with a grain of salt, form your own opinions, but I saw that Rotten Tomatoes ranked it at 50%. And it's like it was basically saying it's charming and fun, but it never quite develops the romance, they were saying. And that, I feel, wasn't what I was going to hear the complaint on, and I'm kind of glad. Because I'm watching this movie, and I'm really concerned, and there might be people who complained about it this way, but I was really concerned that people were going to view this as a wish fulfillment movie. That people were going to see this as like, oh, you have the pretty girl and the nerdy loser type character, and they end up together in the end, and especially with the fact that, you know, he catfished her and everything. I was worried that I was going to see, like, comments about people who were saying, like, oh, this is, like, some kind of weird, gross wish fulfillment. But the thing is, the movie makes it clear that's not what this is about. It's about two people who have self-confidence issues, who weren't being honest with themselves because of various things that have happened with them in their lives, various influences around them, and so on and so forth. And these, what started as small, minute lies, just snowballed further and further into bigger and bigger lies until it just got out of hand and had to be revealed. The message of the film is clearly honesty. When it comes to love, you need to be honest. You need to be truthful, not only to the others around you, but to yourself. That if you're not even honest with yourself, like, how do you expect others to be honest with you? And so I think the message was portrayed well using the catfishing, but also Natalie's own, like, lies, and not as much lies, but like hiding her truth from even herself, and hiding, like, the what she was truly looking for and everything, like, just all that kind of stuff. The cast in this was really great, really fun cast. Nina Dobrev did wonderful as Natalie. She portrayed, like, every emotion of the character really well, from the fun moments to the more serious ones. Jimmy O Yang, I think, was the perfect choice um, for her co-star here, because it sells kind of the themes and messages like of him having self-confidence issues because of how others have treated him, and how popularity is often given to those who are more, like, standardly viewed as attractive. And while a lot of people like him in real life can oftentimes not get as much attention because of the way they look. Like, no matter how you view it, that absolutely is the case. And there can be a lot of other factors in it too. His lack of self confidence was another factor in it. He never got like any attention or many friends or, any partners because he also lacked that self confidence and putting himself out there. Like, I mean, that's why he catfished in the first place, because he didn't feel like anyone would truly love him for who he is. And that does happen in real life, and it sucks, and it shouldn't. But we have a society, especially here in America, that is like so intertwined with the idea of a person's image, that people do tend to either look down on or not even look at anyone that they view to be not living up to their standards. And it kind of sucks. As someone who's, overweight, I've had to deal with that just for that reason. And just like with his character here, a lot of it also comes down to my own lack of self-confidence. I have a huge issue with hating myself, if I'm being honest. I very much do not like myself a lot of the time, to the point where I don't even try to put myself out there. And so it's like, I've only been on a couple dates in my life and never really had a full-on partner. So in some cases it's my fault, and in some cases it's because society again has views fat people, but also, like, a lot of other issues I have, as lesser. But some of it's absolutely my fault, and I will own that. I'm not going to hide that. I'm not going to pretend like my lack of self-image isn't partially to blame. I think that that's important to recognize. And it won't help you fix it right away, by the way. I want to make that clear. Just recognizing that you have a problem, or that, like, there's something off about the way you're handling things, it's not going to fix it just by acknowledging it. You either have to put in work, which is very hard for someone who has self-hatred, by the way, or you have to just, put yourself out there, even if it's scary. Again, also very hard to do, just from my personal experience. There's some aspects of this movie that I feel like weren't completely needed. Natalie's friend added nothing to this. She didn't really take away anything. She was kind of funny, but she otherwise didn't really add anything to the film. She was just kind of there. And Josh's brother, Owen, being an antagonist who wanted to, like, steal the spotlight at all times, and even was, like, out to ruin Josh's love because he was jealous of them taking the spotlight away from him. It felt a little silly. It felt like a little out of place, and I don't think it quite worked. I don't think it quite worked out. And not that the actor can't portray that. He definitely can. He did the best he could in this, given the situation and all. I just think from a writing standpoint, I don't feel like it was a necessary addition. But that might just be me. If I'm being completely honest here, that might just be me. Um, but yeah, I really feel like this movie was cute and charming and fun, and it wasn't anything special. It like wasn't like the best written romance movie or anything. Um, but I enjoyed it. And there were certain aspects that were like really well done. I really like the fact that he like was making candles because it's something his grandfather was into, and he even made a candle that smelled like his grandfather, which his dad, which Bob got to like experience as well. Which that was a really good scene. I really liked that scene. And like I said, Bob was kind of like the best character. He was so nice, so like kind and like supportive at all times. There was never any sign of like him like being too tough macho man type of guy to where he wouldn't have accepted Josh making candles. That never came across. um which some people would say it's like, "Oh, but that was supposed to be what's coming across. So if that didn't ever come across, they kind of failed at that." It's like, yeah, but I don't think it hurts the movie that much. I think it was more just along the lines of Josh's own insecurities and fears making him believe that because of the kinds of things, the manly quote unquote things that his father's into. So I think that's more along the lines. The grandma was hilarious. She was so funny. The actress like played that role to perfection. She was so good. Her timing was impeccable. Absolute great character, great performance. Loved it. Um, Owen's fiance or girlfriend or wife, or I'm not actually 100% on that. Um, was just kind of an airhead stereotype, like a funny airhead stereotype, but like she really added nothing to the movie. Her inclusion felt like entirely pointless. Like she had a couple like fun moments, a couple fun lines, but generally speaking, like she really didn't add anything to this film. Um, there's a few things that kind of end up just being dropped at the end. Like after Tag finds out about everything, and well, everyone finds out about everything, that entire thing is just completely finished. Which I mean, I get because it's like his relationship with Natalie wasn't real. He was being used the entire time, and it's like, where else would you go from there except maybe having Natalie just apologize to him? That would have been the only other thing you could have really done. But it's like it feels like it just did just kind of end like suddenly. It also feels like Owen's redemption, like when him feeling bad, did just kind of come out of nowhere. Though it does make sense that like it's like that liar reveal scene was like very intense and impactful and serious. So it's like I guess the idea is this like, oh, he's like, oh shit, no, I think I kind of fucked up here. It's just so intense and emotional that even he realized it's like, oh no, okay, I actually feel bad. Um, Lee being brought in for the final act at the engagement party and then afterwards was random as hell. I don't think he needed to be brought in for that. I really don't think he did. Honestly, you could have probably even replaced him with Tag. You could have probably made that work with Tag in a way. That would have made more sense. Lee being like I liked Lee's actor. He was hilarious. He was great. Sassy queer friend and all. But felt really random to bring him back in at the end. Um, E-Rock being brought back in at the end felt more natural. There were some other like goofy moments and everything throughout the movie that I enjoyed, like them taking the papers and everything. Um, Stuff like that was pretty fun. But yeah, it's just overall I think that this movie was good. Nothing amazing, nothing special, but good. I do like that its title is a portmanteau. I think I'm saying that right. Of Love Actually and Die Hard. I get the title now because of it being their favorite movies and all. Favorite Christmas movies, even though Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. I'm sorry, I will stand by that. Tag was right. Die Hard is not a fucking Christmas movie. Just because it takes place at Christmas does not make it a Christmas movie. The holiday has to be important to the film's plot for it to be a Christmas movie. Which, by the way, that means that this movie is not a Christmas movie. Love Hard is not in any way a Christmas movie. It's just not. Because Christmas isn't important to the movie at all. At all. It taking place on and around Christmas does not matter. Doesn't make it a Christmas movie. Love Actually, definitely not my favorite Christmas movie, though. And Love Actually, I would say, like, to a degree, has more to do with Christmas than Die Hard or a lot of other movies. Than this movie. Christmas is baked a lot more into the identity of Love Actually. But even then, that's barely there. That's like on the edge. My favorite Christmas movie is Tokyo Godfathers by Satoshi Kon. That is a Christmas movie because Christmas is actually integral to the story. Not only with just the plot in general, but the like overall themes and messages are specifically centered around Christmas. I also like Klaus, which, you know, is a Santa movie, so that's obviously a Christmas movie. And stuff like that. But you even have movies like the Home Alone movies, which kind of skirt the edge. But I feel like their messages and tones, like, do lean more towards Christmas than anything else. And so it's like that. Those ones are barely Christmas movies. But you have other movies that I like Elf. Elf is pretty great. That's very blatantly a Christmas movie. And so on and so forth. You get the idea. But Die Hard is not one. Love Actually barely counts. It's just, yeah. Like, Love Actually is, like, really barely counts. But again, I think that this film was good. I enjoyed it. I had a fun time. I would watch this again. I absolutely would. Also, I just want to say, Jimmy O Yang is an absolute cutie patootie. He's like being used as like the stereotypical nerdy looking dude and everything, like especially in this movie. He's like it's like saying like, oh, he's not conventionally attractive. It's like, bitch, I find Jimmy O Yang very attractive. I find him to be a cutie patootie. Like, I think he's cute. I think he's very attractive. And he's not even that different age-wise from me, thankfully. That would be weird otherwise. He's, I think, 4 years older. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think he's about 4 or 5 years older than me. I believe it's late 30s. Yeah. I could probably look it up. I have the page open for the movie still, so I could just find his name in the cast. There we go. 38. Yeah, wow, I was pretty spot on. Wow, I'm actually a little surprised at that. I did not realize I was that close. But yeah. He is, he's cute. He's adorable. So, anywho. Yeah. I enjoyed watching this. Thank you once again to Isabella for donating for this. I really enjoyed this movie. I probably never would have heard of because again, it's a Netflix movie, and there's they make so many movies that they just don't advertise in any way, and you never hear people talk about them because a lot of them just never get attention. So there's no one to talk about them. But this one was good. This one was good. I enjoyed it. Solid 7 out of 10, at least based off my initial impressions. Maybe watching it again or thinking it over could make that exact number change a little. I don't know, but for now, that's where I would rank it. That all being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on this movie down in the comments below. And we will continue on to another movie tomorrow. We have a couple more left in the week. So, yeah. See you all then. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. Later.